What's going on, guys? You got to tune to the Night Crew podcast, where we shout out on people, stories, and the realities that come alive after dark. I'm your host, a night shift lifer, a private security vet, and an owner, and someone who has seen the industry from the inside. Tonight, we are on episode 20, Blurred Lines. Let's go!
The nights are dark and full of terrors. But this is where we belong. When the streets are empty and the city sleeps, we keep watch, we keep moving, we keep the lights on.
Welcome to the Night Crew. Where the world slows down, but the stories never stop.
Stay sharp, stay ready, and ride with us till dawn.
What's going on, guys? You guys are tuned to the Night Crew podcast. Tonight, we have an energy drink. Now, I would be lying to you if I said I hadn't tried it yet. I think I've got like 3 cases of these, okay? But it's my first time trying these on the cast. It's been a minute. So, let's give it a go. First of all, I already know how this thing tastes, okay? But I want you guys to see my facial expression, okay, of happiness. Check the pull. That foam. Oh, man. All right. This is the best ghost energy drink yet. All right. It's got 200 milligrams of caffeine. If you guys have ever had a 7-Up, I haven't drinking soda in a very long time. So when I got this, I got that feeling of nostalgia. The energy drink tasting like 7-Up with 200 milligrams of caffeine. All you need is just lemon. That's all you need. All right, guys. Hey, guys, it's been a minute since I've been on here. Life happens. Things get busy. So unfortunately, I've been wanting to. I think I've made up like podcasts along the way of things that were happening, and I think the last thing I was gonna talk about was things going on with ICE and in private security, and I never got a chance to do it. So whatever. If it happens, it comes up again, then we can review. But tonight we're on Blurred Lines. This is just when security forgets.
This one's for the profession, not the pretenders, not the imitators, the professionals. Because somewhere along the way, the lines got blurred. Yeah. Black uniforms, flashing lights in the dark. Everybody chasing an image, forgetting who they are. Want the respect, want the presence, want the command. But respect ain't something you wear, it's something you understand. We come a long way from the days they laughed at security. Now we're protecting churches, schools, and critical facility. Carrying trauma kits, Narcan, radios on patrol, or somewhere in the growth. Some forgot the role, because professionalism and authority ain't the same thing. A better uniform doesn't change everything. A body cam don't make you law enforcement. A firearm.
Tune back into Night Crew podcast. Tonight, we're on Blurred Lines. Blurred Lines. I'm just kidding. But I've been wanting to talk about this for a couple weeks. And I've been holding it in. I've been calling like random other security professionals, and I've been like, yeah, man, just private sector. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, that's cool, man. Are you done talking about security? And so I figured I'd take it to the pod. Here I am. And every time I think that we in the private sector that we've evolved and we've moved the profession forward. You know, every time I think that, wow, I this empowers me in the private sector. And every time I think that the private security industry is finally getting the respect I believe we deserve, okay, I open social media and I get reminded, okay, by a message or a video that gets sent to me or me surfing the social media profiles, and I get lost in the sauce and the algorithm is taking me like in places that I've never been before. Now, before anyone gets offended, okay, before anyone wants to write a Facebook post or Instagram post about me, or they want to troll me, um, I want you guys to know that this episode isn't necessarily about attacking security. It's actually I want to say it's completely opposite. I want to say that I'm protecting the profession because no one else seems to do that. You know, we have lobbyists that claim to protect our profession, but they're not responding to any of these videos on the internet and say, hey, we got to make changes. So I'm gonna save that for another night. All right, for you get me all riled up and I say, you know what, we're off course, we're gonna do something else. I don't want to do that. But you know, I've spent so many years in this industry. You know, I've worked nights. I've worked at apartment complexes. I worked hospitals. I worked, you know, plenty of events, commercial properties, and you know, not all the time, but you know, we work with law enforcement. You know, I've testified in court. I don't know how many times. You know, I've detained suspects. You know, I've saved lives. At least I think I have. You know, I've seen, you know, security perform CPR. I've seen you know, security professionals you know, administer Narcan. Okay, I've watched, you know, security officers stop burglaries, stop crimes from happening, and I've also watched security completely destroy the public trust in under 30 seconds. Okay, okay, stop calling me. What am I supposed to do? And you know, like I said, I've been kind of like calling like other professionals, and I've been talking. And I'm like, man, yeah. I mean, someone sent me this video, man. I saw this video, man. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this guy. There's a couple of security guards here in the town that I live in, and they're destroying. They're not. It's not just them, but they're the two that I've been seeing. Just really giving private security a really bad name. And you know what's funny is that I think that security has an image problem. Okay, like, you know, sometimes we look at ourselves, we're like, ugh, I'm fat, ugh. But then someone else looks at us and says, no, you're not. You look good. It's my self-image. You know, I'm saying I just don't feel good. But you know, we see security. They get called rent-a-cop enough times that they want to empower themselves. You know, I'm tired of getting called rent-a-cop. I'm tired of getting called Craig and Diddy. I get it. Okay. So annoying, right? But then you can ask 10 people, you know, when it comes to mind. You know, you say, hey, you know, hey, Bob, I was wondering, what comes to mind when you think of private security? They're gonna say overweight, they look lazy, they're on their phone, they got the earphones in their head, their pants are sagging, they're wearing the new Jordan 3s that just got released yesterday. You know where they spent their paycheck at. You know, their shirts are untucked. They're wearing white Skechers. They brought a chair with them to work. I mean, I hear all this stuff all the time, and people send me pictures of security guard. I've even seen security guard in Crocs. A Crocs and a cowboy hat and an airsoft vest. Just when I think I have seen enough, I get a nice image of that. You know, but and just to look at these security guards, a lot of them look like they got lost in a fight in a uniform store, you know? It's like someone say, here's $1,000, buy whatever you want. And they just start accessorizing with all this unnecessary stuff. And that's what will continue to drive our industry down if people don't stop doing that. And every security professional has said, please don't let that think that's us. And then the industry started to change. Okay. You started seeing clients wanted more. Hospitals needed crisis intervention. Apartment complexes actually wanted community engagement, not just pull up to an apartment complex and go check the restrooms and go check the facilities and then leave. No, they wanted more than that. Churches now, we see churches wanting after shooter response training. Businesses, they want de-escalation. They want to see that security professional go out there and actually have a conversation with someone without throwing them on the ground. Okay. Schools, we see schools that want more trauma care. After some of those mass shootings in schools. And you see guards carrying tourniquets. You see them carrying body cameras now. You got some that are armed. They're carrying tasers. And I think a lot of you guys out there have extensive training. Some of you guys are former military. Some of you guys are prior law enforcement, EMTs, and the profession has evolved when we have those people in our industry. Okay, they help make our industry better. I believe, because they bring their experience and they bring all this hours of training to the private sector to help the private sector shape into what the private sector needs to be. Okay, I love that for us. Okay, you see more of it. Because in my opinion, I believe that private security should be more professional. Okay. We have these professional uniforms, these professional appearances that we're submitting these professional reports to our clients, and we're not sitting here and just saying all areas clear. I believe that more stuff happened on that property besides all areas clear. That's not good enough. And obviously, we see a lot more professional communication between private security professionals and the public. I've seen a lot of security make really good decision making. I've seen them, the private sector have that professional accountability. And there's one thing that you might notice that I didn't say. Nobody was pretending to be police officers. Okay? Because somewhere along that line, people started confusing the professionalism with police authority. Okay? They noticed that we're starting to look a little bit better. We're starting to carry duty belts. We're starting to carry vests. Okay, I guess that means that I can start doing stuff that I shouldn't be doing. And here's my favorite one. We got the guy wearing enough equipment to invade a small village. You got 3 tourniquets, 3 handcuffs, 3 magazines, like freaking knives, like exposed on their vests, a flashlight, a backup flashlight, a backup flashlight.
Backup flashlight. Backup flashlight.
Like 5 pouches that nobody knows what's in it. What are in those pouches? Snacks, cigarettes, Zins. Like a big old gallon of pepper spray, 2 radios, 1 radio from Big 5 that he got to communicate with his team, and 1 scanner, police radio that he got from Amazon. They got medical gloves. You got 3 patches. One says public safety. The other patch says tactical response. And another says canine. Brother, you work at an apartment complex that has a broken pool gate. Why? Who are we preparing to evade? Did someone say active shooter? God. Now, I know I talk about this on social media a lot, but morale patches. Stop. Stop with the morale patches. It's great that your patch says suck it easy. I don't want you to go to my account with a patch morale that says suck it easy. Susie Ann doesn't need to see that. Why do you have patches, morale patches that are offensive? I get it's cool, okay? But stop wearing suck it easy morale patches. F around and find out. Okay? Because if it ever goes to a court for something, they're going to drill the hell out of you on F around and find out, knowing that you assaulted someone or killed someone. The prosecution team is going to eat you alive with the middle finger or the guns, patches, morale patches. I got a whole patch set right here. Get one. They're on Amazon for $20. Stick all the offensive patches that you want. I got Jesus over there saying I saw that. Okay. Just have your name, your name tape, your badge number on there. Keep it very, very simple. All that extra stuff is unnecessary. Stop over accessorizing. You're not some of you guys are girls, but not a girl. We should be wearing patches that represent our company that we work for. We should have a patch that has our company name clear. If you guys don't want to share your last name on your shirt because you're afraid that they're going to go to your house or something, I don't know, then just wear private security. You don't need to have any other identifiers. Maybe a badge number if you guys have badge numbers. Okay. People in the public should be able to easily identify who you are. Private security. 1, 2, 3, private security. Suck it easy, private security. I don't know. But instead of just being simplistic, putting the company name that the state allowed you to have, or put patches that no one allowed you to have. I don't know. But you see some companies intentionally, they intentionally make themselves look like law enforcement as much as possible. And some companies intentionally make themselves look as close to law enforcement as they possibly can. They got, uniforms. They got, dim blue line patches sewed on the right side or I'm sorry, the left side of your shirts. You know, there's badges that say public safety. Some of the badges say special response. Some of the badges say operational division. With all that attire, you know, and you have a tactical response, or you have enforcement, or you have officer as a back patch. Someone that's running behind you, that's running towards you, sees a patch, and people were confused. People, they think they're law enforcement. You know, so I have to remind people we're security, okay? And I think everybody should say it. Say proudly, I'm security. Some guys, you know, they wonder why people think they're cops. Maybe they like it. I don't know. We're private security. Okay, I get it. People have beat the hell out of the name security. We understand that. And sometimes just people seeing security is like it's like a kick in the balls. It's like something you don't want to represent anymore because too many people in the industry have made us look bad. Ice Cube and Mike Epps screwed us over. You. Hate you guys. But guys, there is nothing wrong with being private security. I love it. This might be something that stings some people. Okay, I might make someone feel a little uncomfortable, offended. Don't be offended. But if your dream, okay, if you have a vision board in your room to be a police officer, okay, nice little vision board. That's you're on the road for that. If that's what you're dreaming of, go be one. What's stopping you? Because there are so many departments across America that is desperately looking for police officers. Okay? Go to the academy. Get your backgrounds passed. Pass your backgrounds. Pass your psych. Some of you guys. Pass your firearms. Pass your EVOC training. Pass your field training. Get kicked out and sit on your own. You can do that, but don't create your own police department inside of a private security company that either you work for or that you own. Even if it is illegally owned. Okay? And I've been seeing a lot of security officers conducting searches. They're not consent searches. They're not entry screening searches. They're actually searches. Okay. Now, I don't want to confuse anyone. In the private sector, at least in the state of California, we can conduct a search. Okay. We don't dig in their pockets. We conduct an exterior search. Okay. We check their waistline. We check the right, the left, the back pockets, and the ankles to make sure they don't have weapons. Any other baggies or anything like that, anything that doesn't feel like a weapon, we don't need to see what's in it. Okay? Someone got sued years ago. I'll bring it up in a little bit. But we don't do that. We're not narcotics officers. Okay? We're not looking for clues to solve a murder. We are conducting a pat down on a person that we believe has potentially a weapon, and we want to make sure that we separate that weapon from them so they don't have access to it as I am waiting for law enforcement to conduct their business. Okay. When law enforcement shows up, they ask me, did you pat him down? I said, no, I just patted him down for weapons. I didn't check anything else. Okay. And that's what every security professional should be doing. You know, we just can't just go around just patting everybody down. Excuse me, sir. I'm gonna pat you down real quick. Okay. Even if they say it's okay. No. You know, you can't just say, hey, turn around, pat you down. Okay. Lift up one shirt, extend your other arm, and turn around in a circle. Okay. Back up, back towards me, and the sound of my voice. No! We don't do that. And if you think you can do that, based on what authority? Okay. Because someone looks suspicious? Because you got something eerie in your gut and you need to just, you can feel it. Or because you watched too many damn episodes of Cops. I'm on season 37. I'm sorry. I know. Episodes every Friday. I'm just kidding. But that's not how it works, guys. That's not how it works. And then handcuffs. Everybody wants to put handcuffs on someone. Why? Like, they do it like it becomes some kind of personality trait. Listen, handcuffs are not conversation starters. All right, but you had my okay. So let me ask you a couple. No, you're not taking me to dinner in handcuffs. Not gonna happen. Okay. They shouldn't be used as punishment. Okay. They're not something that you use because someone was being disrespectful. And they're certainly not something you use because someone pissed you off, hurt your ego. Oh yeah, you think you're big tough, huh? Put your head by your back. Why? It's okay. We're security. We get offended every day. And I believe that there's something that a lot of you guys do not talk about. Okay, we don't teach this to our own people. We don't just go on the internet and just say, hey guys, don't do that. No. But I'm gonna tell you guys this because I'm Big Brother. Every time you guys put handcuffs on people, you guys are accepting an enormous responsibility. And now you've restricted this person from freely leaving. And legally, you better be able to explain why. Not because, oh, well, he looks suspicious. Look, he was doing something. Not, well, yeah. He kept talking to himself. It was making me nervous. I felt like if I detained him, it would tame him. No. I thought he had a gun. The classic. Thought. Think. Thought. I thought. Guys sound like chickens. You didn't think nothing because your assumptions is not probable cause. We're security. We're not Cleo, the fortune teller. Yes, I'm speaking my age. Call me now. No. It really blows my mind. You're contracted to apartment A. Why are you across the street contacting someone inside of a store in the parking lot? Why are you stopping pedestrians on public sidewalks? Why are you conducting interviews at a gas station? Insurance company say it was cool? Can you do that? Did your insurance company say, hey, it's okay to leave property to go detain something for something that happened at a completely different address number. Okay. Did your client, are they paying you to go across the street? Does that client own both of these properties? And I know a lot of you guys think it's okay. No one's going to see you. You know, it's going to happen. I'm in uniform. But everyone has cameras. It's 2026. We got to move different. But moving from apartment A across the street to handle something that happened over there. And if something goes sideways, who do you think is getting sued? Not you, but the company you work for, the client you're supposed to be protecting, the insurance carrier. I know you guys don't care because you guys own the company, but the insurance carrier will have to get involved or not get involved. They say, hey, it's an exclusion. We can't do that. You guys have property. But everyone gets screwed. And we think, for what? He'll come back tomorrow. He just lives across the street in that homeless, whatever, encampment. He'll be here tomorrow. Same time, same day. Gosh. But is it worth playing cop for 15 minutes? Did you get something out of it? You feel good? I'm good, man. No thanks. One of the things that I learned in all the years of working security is knowing when not to get involved. I know it's hard. You see some guy over there beat up on his girlfriend across the street. You're like, I gotta. Hold on. Hi, 911. Hi, there's some guy beat up on his girlfriend. Oh, you want me to get involved? Oh, I can't, unfortunately. It's not our property. Okay, well, if you can bring an officer here, he's kicking her ass pretty bad and she's losing. Then you hang up. Okay? Easy. I get it. It's sometimes it's dehumanizing. Sometimes people look at us like, why aren't you going to do something? Because we're contracted to a property. Okay? Like I said, things go wrong. You get hurt. That company has to pay for it. You hurt them. The company has to pay for it. You hurt them bad enough, the company has to pay for it, and now you may be criminally liable for it. You know? And sometimes professionalism looks like calling law enforcement. Sometimes professionalism looks like contacting another security company that you know that's a part of, that's across the street. Say, hey, you know what? There's a problem. There's a disturbance on your property. Or leave your business card on the door. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But sometimes professionalism looks like documenting a suspicious activity. You know, we do it on our DAR or DARs, or daily activity reports. Put, hey, some guy was beating up on his girlfriend. The girlfriend looked like she was losing. Notified security company and also notified law enforcement. Okay, at least you looked. And in case it ever comes into a whole court deal, at least you'll have that DAR to back you up. You know, because in actual reality, not every problem that we see belongs to us. Okay, I think that's where maturity comes into place, right? And this shows how we matured in the profession, how we matured as a person. Young guards think that every incident and every situation is theirs. Like they feel like they have to do something. Years ago I had this. There was a security company that worked across the street, and he'd get there pretty early. We had a patrol account that we were doing security on. We were getting like we were dealing with a lot of break-ins and stuff. So what we did was, we started removing people from our properties. You know, some guy threw a rock at me and ended up hitting me. So I was like, let me go ahead and detain this guy. So I gave him chase. He started running across the street. I let it go. That security guard was chasing him, and I said, "Stop." He says, "Oh, well, he did. Well, you don't know what he did. What are you doing? Why are you chasing to something that you didn't even see? You just saw me chasing him in the parking lot, and you react to it and you start chasing him. Now you're going down the street. Now you're off property. Okay, I'll be okay getting hit by a car. You will not. I own the company. You don't." And experienced security professionals, officers, understand that sometimes some of the decisions that we make, the hardest decisions, are just staying in our lane. So let me ask you guys a question. Why are we so uncomfortable being called security guard? I mean, seriously, why does that word bother you so much? Why does it bother other security professionals so much? Yeah, I noticed that over the years. I'm not gonna lie, it bothers me. I hate the word security. I hate it. I hate it because too many people in the industry have just tarnished the security name. I know. I hate it. I hate them. They're terrible people. No, but really, like, why am I so offended? Because I'm not them. You are not them. They are they. I don't want to use acronyms. I don't use pronouns or anything, but I'm just telling you what it is. Like, let them be them. More pronouns. But we don't have to take the same feeling towards it. Okay, I get it. Someone calling you or like rent-a-cop like bothers me. Rent-a-cop is like someone calling me the N-word with the hard R. I say it all the time. So, I think, you could tell a lot about a guard by the way they introduce themselves. Someone walks up and says, "Hey, what's going on? Good evening. My name's Eric with Night's Watch Patrol. We're contracted for this property. Is everything okay?" Okay. I think it's, for me, that I use that word all the time. Is everything okay? They're like, "Yeah, why? I'm just over here just talking to myself. Is that a problem?" No, not a problem. You got to continue that conversation that way, but not a problem at all. But it's being professional. We're being respectful. We're if there's someone that's unhoused, we're not treating them like they're unhoused, right? They're treating them like they're a normal person, and they just fell on the wrong side of the foot, like wrong side. I don't know, whatever. So we just got to treat everybody with respect, care. Care about your job. If you're using this job because it's a job for you to assault people, then you're in the wrong industry. I can get you hooked up to a couple of gyms. You can go bang it out all you want, man. Get that out of your system. I fought for 12 years. It's out of my system. Okay, I love fighting too, but I won't do that on the street. Not especially not a uniform. And you guys have other people out there, other professions. I like to call them. You have the public safety operations division, bro. You work security at an apartment complex. You work security at a sex store. Okay. You gotta relax. All that stuff, stop. And I think somewhere between those lines, we started believing that sounding more tactical, looking more tactical, makes us more legitimate. It doesn't. You know, I think being professional makes you legitimate. Okay. I think competence makes you legitimate. And I even think even knowledge of the industry and the laws makes you legitimate. You know, uh, not a morale patch, not a stupid Punisher skull, not a thin blue line stitched on every piece of equipment you own. Stop! You guys do not know what the thin blue line represents. You do not know what the sheepdog represents. Why are you wearing things that do not, one, represent you, and that you have no idea what it represents? Yes, it represents law enforcement, but there's more to a thin blue line than just associated with law enforcement. And you dumb security guards got it all patched all over you. Got a guy that was like, "Hey man, you gonna hire me?" I look at him, I'm like, "Oh, he's got thin blue line patch." No. Because you're trying to represent something you're not. And I don't like that. I don't like miscellaneous patches. Suck it easy. Because some of the patches you guys are wearing could be seen as an act of aggression. Okay? You may not be an aggressive person, but if something happens and they see that patch, they're going to assume you're aggressive. I know I keep talking about it, but I'm telling you guys, these patches really piss me off. I wish you guys would stop wearing the thin blue line patch. If you guys support law enforcement, great. Leave it on your patch wall. You know, an officer that can walk into a group of 10 pissed off people doesn't have to raise his voice, doesn't have to put hands on anybody, but somehow his presence and professionalism had everybody just scattering away. Okay? One good thing is he got there before anything happened. I'm impressed. It's impressive. That exhibits someone that's been in the industry for a long time that has that experience and they're confident enough in their ability to de-escalate. Okay, I've done that plenty of times. Not to toot my horn, but I've been in crowds before. Hey, go over there. You go over there. If you feel the same way tomorrow, then hey, have at it. No. Some people just don't forgive. I think having confidence in your skill set and in your experience, I have to talk about this because social media has absolutely changed this profession. Okay. Everybody wants the content. Everybody wants the views. Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants commenting. They don't care how the comments come, but this guard is better than cops, is what he's trying to tell people. And it's like, that's not the goal. I watched videos of guards are escalating situations that could have been solved in one sentence. Hey, you have to go. But instead, hey man, you're not allowed to be on property. You're going to get detained. Detained for what? You can get detain me. Oh shit. All right. Okay. Yeah, I can. Now I will. And there you go. That stupid guard that's on the internet. I've watched security guards, officers, jump to force instead of communication. Okay. And they get on the social media, they upload it. with the dramatic music, the saxophones playing, the slow motion, the black and white filter, and maybe throwing a little wolf logo somewhere, and thousands of people are commenting. This guy deserves a badge. Ah, do it again. Kick his ass, Seabass. No, he deserves de-escalation training, because this is what a lot of people don't understand. The best security interaction is no one remembers. Okay. No one got hurt. No one got embarrassed. No one got thrown on the ground. Okay. No one got pepper sprayed. No one remembers that. No one's going to post it. That's not going to go on the internet. But you pepper spraying, you throwing someone on the ground, that will be remembered. That will be put on social media. And I will talk about it. Okay, let's talk about appearance. All right, I'm going to offend some people. Okay. But appearance matters. Okay. It matters. How you look, how you smell, your mannerism, how you speak. If you're asking clients to trust you with $1 million property, for heaven's sake, can you please tuck in your shirt? Can you iron your uniform? Can you wear pants that actually fit? Can you not show up to my client's $1 million property with faded pants and a faded uniform shirt? Can we stop wearing these bright white running shoes? These Nike Air Force 3s that look like we're about to play pickleball somewhere, and basketball another place. Okay. And my presentation is important, and I believe it matters. And your guys' presentation is important, and I think it matters too. Because clients see you before they know you. Okay. The residents, they will see you before they talk to you. Law enforcement will see you before they interact with you. Your appearance communicates that this person is disciplined enough to comb his hair, brush his hair, tuck his shirt in, wear shoes that match his uniform. I get it. Some people don't like wearing boots, or they haven't found the comfortable boots. I think I'm going to do a podcast on boots one day. Okay. They have nice, high top shoe style looking boots. I have plenty of them, and they're super comfortable. You don't have to wear, those big old giant boots, man. I always laugh when I see people, spend $500-$600 on tactical gear. But they refuse to spend $15, to clean their boots. Or they refuse to pay $100 for some nice boots. And I've seen, $300-$400 optics on people's firearms. But your duty belt looks like it went through 3 deployments. Your duty belt looks like you're wearing looks like a church belt. Come on. Why are you wearing church belts as a tactical duty belt? Dude. That stuff will rip your belts. Cause it gets heavy. Come on, man. Take pride in your profession. Okay. And here's another unpopular opinion that nobody asked for. And I could probably tell myself this sometimes too, is stop chasing a respect. And we have to earn that. And a lot of times I'm constantly chasing respect from law enforcement. I'm like, look at me, bro. It's the same pants, the same button up. Love me. What I'm learning is that your respect doesn't come from your badge. It doesn't come from the type of gun you have. It doesn't come from the amount of handcuffs you have. It comes from consistency. You know, when you see law enforcement, talk to them like regular people. You know, don't if you don't talk to them, then they don't know who you are, and they assume you're just some dumb rent a cop. Okay. But we gotta show up every day. You know, we gotta write good reports. We have to, when we're calling 911 dispatch, we have to be professional when we're on the phone with them. We have to be professional when the officers show up. We gotta treat people how we want to be treated. You know, and educate yourself on the law. When is loitering become loitering? When does trespassing become trespassing? If you guys have post orders, know your post orders. Know what you're supposed to do on your property. If it says don't go across the street, don't go across the street. Know the contract that you're working. Know where you're working. Know the demographic that surrounds it. Get to know people. No one intervene. No one is time for you to get in there. Okay. And we have to be cautious and know when to walk away. Okay. And when that's probably one of the hardest things to do. I even for me, I could say that. I could attest to that. But I think you'll build something more than scaring people and inflicting fear on people. You're gonna build a credibility, and they're gonna look at you like that's a dope security officer. He's cool. He knows that I sell drugs across the street, but he's not pressing me about it because it's not our job. Okay. Now let's talk about our clients. Because I think clients contribute to the problem too. Some clients expect police services at security prices. They want you to investigate. They want you to do traffic enforcement. They want you to do out there doing homeless outreach. They want you going and show up to domestic violence interventions, mental health crises, parking enforcement. Yeah, I know. Trespassing, noise complaint, drug activity, medical emergencies. And they expect one security officer that's making $1,650, $1,690 to solve every problem. I think that's very unrealistic. We can do some, we cannot do all. And some things that we can do based on our experience, but we don't need to be inserting ourselves in operations that aren't ours. We're not there to replace law enforcement. We're there to be a part of the public safety system. Okay. Every job that you go to, you're going to have a higher up. Okay. There's decisions that you can make from the floor, from the bottom. You can empower maybe they empowered you to give 10% discounts once in a while at a store you work at. If someone wasn't happy about their experience, you can give them a 10% discount, whatever. Okay. But if they want 15 or 20%, then we have to go call a manager approval. Same thing with law enforcement. When does trespassing, a misdemeanor trespassing, turn into a felony? And when do we blur the lines and say, okay, we can handle the misdemeanor, but this felony in commission that's going on, we cannot handle this. We got to call law enforcement to do this. Okay. And we're just a layer. We're just there to be a deterrence. We're there to observe the things that are going on. We go to our clients, we report it, we document it, and we provide presence, which is important. Sometimes we intervene, sometimes we save lives. And at the end of the day, we're still security. Okay. But understanding the distinction protects us. There's a couple of before I let you guys go, there is a couple of things that have happened. Um, and this is where when a case search of an illegal search that happened. This happened in 1979. People versus Zelensky, and this is one of the most important California cases involving private security. And what happened was the Robinson's department store observed Virginia Zelensky shoplifting a blouse. The store detectives detained her and took her to the security office. Instead of limiting the search to recovering the stolen items and merchandise, they conducted what would be called a routine search for weapons. During the search, they located a vial of heroin in her purse. Okay, the heroin became the basis of a narcotics charge, so she got charged for the heroin. And what did the California Supreme Court do? And what did they decide? They decided that search was unlawful. Okay, and the court recognized that private security officers often perform quasi law enforcement functions. Okay, and they pose a similar threat to civilians' privacy rights when they exceed that authority. And the court held that when private security personnel are making a citizen's arrest, detaining someone in the aid of law enforcement, and conducting a search, they are subject to California's constitutional protection against unreasonable search and seizures. Another case study, a parking lot cop. Okay. And this is a hypothetical. Okay. So, but you're contracted for an apartment complex. A guy gets trespassed. He walks across the street to a gas station. The security follows him, detains him, puts him in handcuffs, and waits 45 minutes for police. And then you ask, whose property are you protecting now? Your clients or your ego? It really those are things that really blur the lines. Okay, we've already issued a trespass. Say, hey, next time we see you, we're going to detain you. Okay, most of the time we don't really do it because we don't wait. We don't wait 45 minutes. But when does this illegal detention happen? Where now it becomes liable. Now he's got this guy sitting across the street while his property is left unmanned for 45 minutes. The field interview, case study number 3, the field interview. I've seen guards say, put your hand behind your back. We're going to ask you a few questions. So when did we start doing field interviews? Okay. We conduct field interviews, but we do them as a voluntary conversation, right? So we'll talk to someone. We'll say, "Hey, man, how's it going? My name's Eric. We're the we protect this property. Unfortunately, man, you're not allowed here, and this is private property, whatever." And we talk to the guy. We say, "Hey, man, hey, what's your name, bro?" He'll say, "Hey, my name's Zach Scribner." And you'll say, "All right, hey, just question me, how old are you?" 37. All right, cool. Have a good day. That way I can put in my report. I can describe I can describe him. Description. He gave me the name Zach Scribner. Was it true? Was it false? I don't know, but this is the name that I'm using. He's 37 years old. California guards, we gotta remember that our security, we operate under the same citizen arrest framework as a private person. Not we don't have general police powers. I wish they would, but then I see some people out there. I'm like, I wish they wouldn't. Imagine detaining someone because they looked suspicious. You never witnessed a crime. You didn't see a felony happen. There was no immediate threat, but you just saw someone that looks suspicious and you think that they may have committed a crime because they're walking across the street, they're perspiring, they're sweating, and it's like, and you realize that the weather is pretty fair, and you're like, well, this guy freaking committed a murder. Yeah, hands dirty, sir. And now you detain him. You've not only exposed yourself, but you expose the company and your client of the allegations of false imprisonment. I mean, look at it, man. You're maybe you work at these high contact properties where you deal with a lot of people, but congratulations, you turned a $22 an hour job into allegations of false imprisonment. Okay, and we have to be careful when we are doing our job. We have to understand where our liability lies. Okay. And I think that in our profession, there needs to be, no more illegal searches. Okay, guys. No more handcuffing people because they look suspicious. No more. I want to see more professionalism. I want to see more education. I want to see more accountability. I want to see more leadership. What I see right now is I see veterans in this private sector teaching the inexperienced guards, ones that just got in the industry, teaching them bad habits, bad search and seizures, bad detainments. Because, as I look into the future of the private sector, I'm not looking at it to merge with law enforcement. Okay. I'm not looking, I mean, trust me, there's a lot of things that I wish and hope and dream. But in this occasion, in the state of California, where liability runs real strong, so the future is becoming good at being private security. That where no one's going to question our value. Are you worth $16.90 or are you worth $22.90? And not because we imitate police, but because we demonstrate this professionalism every single day. There are a lot of people that don't want police. They want security, more understanding, more down to earth. But we have to finally figure out those blurred lines so we can start becoming clearer with our industry and where our profession lies. Guys, it's been real. Okay, this is like the longest podcast I've done in like a long time. But I wanted to air some stuff out. I haven't talked to you guys in a long time, and I probably don't know when the hell I'll be doing another podcast. I don't know. But I love this industry, but I don't like this industry. Because, like I said, we have too many people that blur the lines between law enforcement and private security. Okay. It's okay to drive a police interceptor that looks professional. It's okay, to dress professionally. It's okay to modernize the industry. I think that's great. I love to see modern security. But never should we blur the lines between law enforcement functionality and private security functionality. All right, guys. I'm all out of time. And I'm just telling you guys this. I love you. For the nights are dark and full of terror.
This has been the Night Crew.
Stay sharp. Stay safe. I'll catch you on the next shift.